She had 3 brothers from a wealthy and powerful family. Yet none of them truly cared for her. They poured all their affection on the sister their mother had taken in. That scheming girl staged a pitiful act, then maliciously accused her of being mentally unstable. Believing the lies, her 3rd brother personally sent her to a mental hospital. But the hospital director turned out to be a disgusting predator. Just as his filthy hands were about to touch her, she suddenly returned to her past, reborn. No longer the timid girl she once was, she struck back, crippling the director's leg. She tried to make her escape but was almost caught by security. At the last second, a domineering CEO appeared and pulled her out of danger. The scheming sister could only watch in fury as her plan crumbled to dust. Back in the car, the CEO said calmly, "Say your goodbyes to your little brother and the dog. This dog belongs to Miss Yun-gu." The young master's eyes welled up as he pleaded, "I'll give you my brother, just please don't take Eris away." The CEO's expression darkened. "Say that again and I'll have Xing-su take you back to the old estate, and double your summer homework." Terrified, the boy clutched the dog tightly and muttered, "Miss Yun-gu, take me with you too." The CEO took her back to his place. She had just stepped into the shower when his official girlfriend suddenly showed up, demanding, "Who is Yun-gu?" Yun-gu didn't flinch. "And who are you?" she shot back. Sparks flew as the woman sneered, firing off 3 sharp questions. "Little girl, do you know how old you are? Do you know what kind of women men actually like? Do you know the difference between a woman and a girl?" Yun-gu simply pulled down her collar, revealing the scar on her bare shoulder, and smirked. "Brother likes me, a lot." The woman froze, eyes narrowing. "What exactly did you two do?" Yun-ji's smile deepened. "Heh, take a guess. Not leaving yet? Or do you want to watch us show some PDA?" Furious, the woman spun on her heel and stormed out. Moments later, the CEO emerged, asking calmly, "Someone was here?" Yun-gu replied lazily, "She's gone. But you might need to do some explaining later." Instead of being angry, he said evenly, "I never expected you to behave anyway." As he wrapped her wound, he added, "My name is Huashidu. I'll leave you my number." Watching his sister being carried away, her 3rd brother, now reborn, was filled with guilt. In their previous life, before the hospital scandal broke, a powerful man's daughter had died there. Before that, Yun-gu had sent him message after message begging for help, but he ignored them all. Now he regretted it bitterly. Why hadn't he believed her? This time he swore to protect her no matter what. Just then Qin Yojiao came running over. "My music room's too sunny. You said I could swap it for Pei Yunja's bedroom. Does that still count?" Yun-gu strode into the courtyard, her tone cool. "Sure. I'm planning to live on campus anyway." The 3rd brother's eyes lit up the moment he saw her. Qin Yojiao, on the other hand, was stunned. No way. How had she suddenly become so poised, and so beautiful? "Will you be okay living on campus?" he asked with concern. Qin Yojiao quickly butted in. "Pei Yunja's not that delicate." Yun-gu didn't even bother to respond, heading straight for her room. The 3rd brother moved to follow, but Qin Yojiao grabbed his arm. "Where are you going?" "To help her pack," he said flatly. She shot back, "Who's more important, me or her?" He turned to her and enunciated every word. "Pei Yunj is my real sister." In his heart he added coldly, "You Qin Yojiao are just a stray my mother took pity on. If it weren't for her feelings, I'd have kicked you out long ago." Seeing he wouldn't budge, Qin Yojiao forced a smile. "Then I'll help her pack." But her real intention wasn't to help. It was to bully Yun-gu once again. Yun-gu stepped into her room, only to find it eerily unsettling. The walls were plastered with talismans and a sharp, pungent smell filled the air. Qin Yojiao followed in with a smug smirk. "I've never seen a woman as shameless as you. Do you really think living in the Qin household will change how your brothers see you? Keep dreaming." Yun-gu replied evenly, "What's wrong? Afraid of losing your place?" The jab hit home and Qin Yojiao snapped. "You're talking nonsense. Believe it or not, I can have my brothers send you right back to that mental hospital." She sneered. "In their eyes, you're not even worth a single hair of mine. Even if I frame you on purpose, they wouldn't care." Yunji's lips curved into a cold smile. "Funny, I almost forgot. I never settled the score from last time you had me thrown into that hospital. Let's take care of both the old and new debts today. Seeing the once weak Yungu suddenly unafraid, Qin Yojiao faltered. Try laying a hand on me. If third brother and mom find out, they'll throw you out of this house. Yungu didn't even blink. She shoved Qin Yojiao to the floor, grabbed her by the collar and dragged her toward the staircase. A servant gasped in shock, shouting, "Hey Yunj, have you lost your mind? You dare bully the eldest young lady?" Panic set in and Qin Yojiao pleaded desperately, "I won't do it again. Please, let me go." Thinking of all the cruel things Qin Yojiao had done to her over the years, Yungu steeled herself and shoved her straight down the stairs. "Third young master, grab that shameless girl," Aunt Wu shouted. But Yungu strode down the steps with an air of dominance. "Get out of my way." When the third brother didn't move, Aunt Wu raised her hand to strike, trying to avenge the eldest young lady. Yungu caught her wrist in midair, her voice icy. "You're just a servant. How dare you be so arrogant?" Her eyes flashed cold. "This isn't your place to act wild." Then came a sharp slap that shut the woman up instantly. Just then the third brother, Qin Lang, walked in. Qin Yojiao rushed over, crying and whining. Qin Lang thought quickly, better get her upstairs before she framed Yungu again. He ordered the servants to take her away. Qin Yojiao still clung to him, insisting, "You have to teach that shameless woman a lesson." Annoyed, Qin Lang waved her off, but Aunt Wu jumped in. "Third young master, that lunatic is vicious. She tried to kill the young lady and almost broke my hand." Yungu grabbed Aunt Wu's hand with a smirk. "Then let me finish the job for you." Aunt Wu panicked instantly, screaming for help. Qin Lang didn't care in the slightest whether her hand broke. He was more concerned with something else. "What did you just call her?" "A lunatic." His voice dropped cold. "You're just a servant. Don't you dare call my sister that again." Yungu froze. What was with him today? Was he actually defending her? Yungu kicked Aunt Wu straight toward Qin Lang. "Go ahead, complain." Then she looked Qin Lang in the eye and said bluntly, "Yes, I pushed Qin Yojiao on purpose." "So what?" Aunt Wu was stunned. Yungu was stepping on every one of the third young master's bottom lines. Yet today he was tolerating her? Impossible. As Yungu turned to leave, Qin Lang caught her arm. "You don't want to stay here. Is it because of them? If so, I'll replace them all." She shook off his hand. "Forget the servants. Tell me, what in this house is worth me staying for?" His voice softened into something close to pleading. "It'll take a day or two to get your dorm approved. Just wait a little longer, okay? And soon it'll be Grandpa's birthday. Stay until after the celebration." In this life, Qin Lang remembered, Grandpa was the only one who truly cared for Yungu. But in a year he would pass away. Only Grandpa could make her stay. The two servants were shocked. The third young master was actually coaxing her. Aunt Wu, still oblivious, blurted, "Third young master, she almost killed the eldest young lady. How can you defend that shameless girl?" Qin Lang's face went cold. "Shut up." Then to the butler, "Give her 3 months' pay and throw her out of the Qin house." Aunt Wu pouted, "I was helping the eldest young lady. You've always doted on her. Pei Yunj is just an outsider." "Say that again. Who's an outsider?" Qin Lang's voice was ice. "Yungu is my real sister, the true eldest young lady of the Qin family. We don't need a servant telling us what to do." Qin Lang suggested Yungu move into the room next to his. Having just taken over this body, now wasn't the best time to move out, so she agreed. But when Qin Lang helped her pack, he was shocked. She had so few belongings. It made him feel all the more sorry for her. Yungu also noticed, Qin Lang was acting very differently today. Meanwhile, still fuming, Qin Yojiao tried to call Aunt Wu over. But a servant told her Aunt Wu had been fired by the third young master for calling the second young lady a lunatic. Qin Yojiao was stunned. Why was her third brother suddenly taking that woman's side? Firing Aunt Wu for her. Wasn't that a public slap in her face? A servant tried to comfort her. "In a few days it'll be the old master's birthday banquet. Just outshine everyone then. You know, the second young lady's nothing to worry about." Qin Yojiao smirked inwardly. "True. On the banquet day she'd find some trouble for Pei Yunj. There was no way that useless girl could handle it. After the move, the butler asked Qin Lang, "Shall I prepare dinner for the eldest young lady and you?" Qin Lang's gaze turned cold. He didn't even ask about the second young lady, a sign of just how low Yunji's status was in this house. His voice hardened. "From now on, meals will be made to the second young lady's taste. If I find out you've neglected her, you can get out of the Qin family." That evening, Qin Lang invited Yungu out for dinner. When she saw Qin Yojiao tagging along, Yungu said flatly, "Send me the address. I'll come later." She had no intention of dining with that scheming woman. Qin Yojiao bristled. "Third brother, see? She's always so sarcastic." But Qin Lang ignored the tone and asked, "How's your father, the hospital director?" She hesitated before answering. Pei Yunj crippled one of his legs. Qin Lang's expression didn't change. "So what? Every legal procedure should be carried out, no exceptions." Qin Yojiao froze. Was her third brother saying he wanted her father to go to prison? After spending the afternoon out, Yungu was on her way back for dinner when a mysterious old man stopped her, insisting on introducing her to a potential partner. Thinking fast, she scooped up a nearby little boy and said, "This is my son." The boy played along perfectly, calling out, "Mommy." The old man believed it, though he frowned, noticing they didn't quite look alike. Yungu calmly added, "He looks like his dad." Right then, the boy's older brother walked over. The old man's eyes lit up. "Now that's a match, he looks exactly like him." Then with a grin he said to Yungu, "Girl, your husband's really handsome." Yungu froze in embarrassment. What was meant to be a simple excuse had somehow landed her with both a son and an extra husband. The old man called out, "Young man, go sit next to your wife." Hoshidu went along with the act, strolling over. "Wife, why are you running around with our son?" Yungu was completely dumbfounded. What kind of cosmic joke was this? She'd just been played by an old man. Satisfied with his matchmaking, the old man quietly took his leave. Once the old man left, Hoshidu raised an eyebrow. "You two are pretty good at this, huh?" The little boy shivered, whispering, "Oh, big brother's gonna kill me." He quickly tugged his sister's hand, urging her to take him home. Hoshidu turned to Yungu, smirking. "Just now, you were taking advantage of me, weren't you? What love at first sight?" Yungu wanted to crawl into a hole from embarrassment. Thankfully, her brother's call came through and she bolted. Watching her leave, the boy asked his brother, "Is that big sister pretty?" Hoshidu shot back, "Whether she is or not, what's it to you?" The boy's eyes lit up. "Brother, aren't you still single? This is perfect timing." Hoshidu sighed. "Forget it. I've already got one troublemaker at home. Another one would just be a headache." When Yungu arrived at the banquet, Qin Yojiao snapped, "Look at the time. If you didn't want to come, you should have just stayed home." "I'm starving." It turned out Qin Lang had already arranged for Yungu to enroll at Hengda Academy. Qin Yojiao panicked. If people found out Pei Yunj was the true eldest young lady of the Qin family, she'd be the laughingstock of the school. "Why should she go to the same school as me?" she protested. Qin Lang's tone turned icy. "And why shouldn't she?" Yunji's thoughts wandered back to her life before she transmigrated. Her parents divorced when she was young, and by 14 she'd finished university under the guidance of her scientist mother. After her mother's passing, she inherited and took over the family company. Now, in this novel's world, she figured experiencing real campus life might be interesting. But Qin Yojiao kept picking at her. "Can you even keep up? Hengda Academy has an elimination system. You couldn't keep up at that trash school before. How could you possibly survive at Hengda?" Qin Lang cut her off. "Doesn't matter. I've already spoken to the principal. Remember the lab building our family donated? She's not getting expelled no matter what." Inwardly, he swore. In the last life, Yungu was blackmailed, bullied, and scarred by severe social anxiety because of the violence she endured at school. In this life, he would never let that happen again. Qin Yojiao kept telling herself, "Third brother must be doing this for grandpa's sake." Yes, that had to be it. He couldn't possibly care about that wretched girl. In the end, she slipped into the restroom and secretly called her mother. Will you ever abandon me? If one day you don't want me anymore, I'll give Pei Yunj my place. On the other end, her mother said firmly, Silly girl, you are the rightful eldest young lady of the Qin family. Who would dare drive you out? I will never let Pei Yunj take anything from you. Those words made Qin Yojiao's lips curl into a dark smile. If Pei Yunj had stayed obedient, she might have spared her. But since she dared to compete, the title of Qin family's eldest young lady would forever belong to her. At Hengda Academy, gossip was already flying. Hey, did you hear? There's a transfer student in class 7. Yeah, I heard she's the poor relative clinging to school belle. Qin Yojiao got in through the back door too. Probably a total ugly duckling. When Pei Yunj arrived to register, she ran into Qing Zihuai, the man who was once this body's fiancé. This scumbag was actually in love with Qin Yojiao. To spite her, he pretended to treat the original owner well in public, but in private he'd tell her not to get any ideas, and even bullied her just to please Qin Yojiao. A scumbag through and through. Seeing her now, Qing Zihuai thought smugly, she didn't follow me here because of our engagement, did she? But the next second his ego took a hit. Pei Yunj didn't even glance at him, walking straight to the teacher instead. Do you know Qing Zihuai? The teacher asked. Yes, she replied casually. And how do you know him? From the mental hospital, Pei Yunj said without hesitation. The teacher was instantly stunned. When Yungu stepped into the classroom, jaws dropped. Whoa, she's stunning. Totally outshines school belle Qin Yojiao by miles. She walked up to the teacher. Where should I sit? The homeroom teacher, a bit of a simpleton, smiled. Anywhere you like. He thought, such a cute girl. She's definitely not going to cause me any trouble. He couldn't have been more wrong. Yungu picked a random seat which just happened to be next to the school's resident delinquent, Lu Yuanxi. Someone smirked and goaded, Go. Someone who has nothing to do with you, Yungu replied coolly. Lu Yuanxi grinned with interest. Oh, so you're Qin Yojiao's poor relative? Interesting. You're the first person brave enough to sit next to me. Friendly tip. Qin Yojiao's got plenty of friends here. If she decides she wants you gone, good luck surviving. Yungu didn't even flinch. She was no longer the timid girl she used to be. Up on the rooftop, Yungu decided to find herself a part-time job. With the original owner having little work experience, she could only stick to her specialty, computer science. She dialed an international number. On the other end was none other than Marcus, one of the top names in global computer science. His tone was respectful. I've read your profile. Would you consider working in our country? We can help you immigrate and change your citizenship. Yunji's voice cooled. Didn't I state in my email that I'm not immigrating? I only want part-time work. Left with no choice, Marcus agreed to hire her remotely and even advanced 3 months' pay. Just then Qing Zihuai appeared. Who are you on the phone with? He asked. Yungu replied with a gentle smile. My part-time boss. Qing Zihuai froze. Wasn't she just Qin Yojiao's poor relative? With the Qin family's wealth, why would she need to work part-time? He tried to advise her, don't let a side job affect your studies. But Yungu simply said, this coursework is too easy. It's nothing worth learning. She then continued into the phone. As for the revenue split, let your Computer Technology Research Institute decide according to the contract. Hearing words like immigration and research institute, Qing Zihuai's expression shifted. Maybe this Qin family poor relative was far more formidable than she appeared. The class was buzzing. That new girl's so arrogant. She didn't even give Lu Yuanxi the time of day. She's the new school belle now. No surprise, she knocked Qin Yojiao right off her pedestal the moment she arrived. Then a girl named Ling Jiwei stood up, speaking for Qin Yojiao. What are you all gossiping about? Let me show you who's really in charge of class 7. Ling Jiwei had a crush on Lu Yuanxi, but Lu Yuanxi's affections were aimed at Qin Yojiao. And to complicate things further, Qin Yojiao and Ling Jiwei were supposed to be best friends. A girl from the back row teased, Sister Ling, are you going to fiercely defend your man? Ling Jiwei smirked. Don't talk nonsense. Yojiao wouldn't bother lowering herself, but as her best friend, I can't let some little tramp climb over her head. Inwardly, though, she was scheming. Since Qin Yujiao had Qing Zihuai, Lu Yuanxi would be hers. As Yungu entered the classroom, Ling Jiwei called out from the back, "Stop right there, newbie. I think it's time you learn some rules." When class began, the teacher walked in and spotted Yungu standing away from her seat. Without asking questions, he barked, "So you're the transfer student? A trash student from some ordinary school, and you dare act up here at Hengda Academy? Leave your bad habits at the door. Sit down now." Yungu replied with a bright smile, "Teacher, didn't you notice my desk is covered in ink? Why don't you try sitting there first?" The teacher feigned concern. "Who bullied the new student?" From the back, Ling Jiwei coughed twice, an obvious signal. Seeing it was Ling Jiwei, the teacher's mind shifted. His son worked under her father. He couldn't afford to offend her. So he said, "Probably just an accident. All right, let's drop it." Yunji's lips curled in disdain. "Oh, so that's how it is." Spotting their collusion, she decided to take matters into her own hands. Striding over to Ling Jiwei's desk, she kicked it over with a loud bang. "Oops, my bad. I accidentally knocked over your desk." Ling Jiwei froze in shock. The teacher too was stunned. Was this girl openly challenging him? The class was wide-eyed. They had thought she was just a beautiful pushover, but turns out she was a fearless fighter. The teacher, his pride wounded, snapped, "Pei Yunj. You dare cause trouble right in front of me? Are you trying to get yourself expelled? I'll call your guardian right now and let them see what you're doing at school." To Yunji's surprise, the teacher actually called her third brother. The moment Qin Lang heard her name, his voice sharpened with worry. "What happened to my sister? Did someone bully her at school again?" "No," the teacher replied. "She bullied others, maliciously targeted a classmate, and even flipped over their desk." He conveniently left out the part about someone spilling ink all over Yunji's desk first. Qin Lang's tone turned icy. "Stop talking nonsense. Why don't you just accuse her of murder while you're at it?" The teacher tried to sound righteous. "If you let her keep this up, she's bound to become a disgrace to society." Qin Lang shot back, "Bullshit. My sister has a communication disorder. If she's being bullied at school, none of you will get away with it." Those nearby were stunned. Who knew the mighty esports king was such a shameless sistercon? What no one expected was that the entire exchange had been live-streamed. Viewers flooded the chat, all convinced that the Qin family's third young master had just gone full-on protective over Qin Yujiao, thinking she was the sister in question. Ling Jiwei stormed up to Qin Yujiao. "Who exactly is Pei Yunj to your Qin family? She actually kicked over my desk right in front of the teacher." Qin Yujiao instantly slipped into her scheming mode, putting on a pitiful face. "Don't be too hard on her. She's been in a mental hospital before. Her mind's not quite right." She added with a sigh, "She also has a communication disorder. Back at her old school, she was even expelled once for cheating on an exam." Ling Jiwei's eyes widened. "So she's a lunatic. No wonder she's so brazen." Just then another classmate came over, eager to please. "Yujiao, your brother really spoils you." Qin Yujiao blinked. "Why do you say that?" The girl handed her a phone. "Look, Brother Complex is trending with your brother's name. His fans are tagging you like crazy and you're acting like it's nothing. I'm impressed." Qin Yujiao feigned nonchalance. "I've been giving him the cold shoulder lately. I guess this is his way of making up with me." The classmate practically groaned with envy. "Ugh, I'm so jealous. A drop-dead gorgeous brother who's also a gaming god, and you're mad at him." When Yungu returned home, everyone treated her like she didn't exist. Everyone except her third brother, Qin Lang, who greeted her. Her scheming sister deliberately clung to their father's arm and cooed, "Dad, I got second place in the whole grade again. Just 2 points away from first. Can you come to my parent-teacher conference this time?" Their mother beamed. "Of course, sweetheart. My precious daughter deserves to be spoiled." Qin Yujiao shot Yungu a triumphant look, thinking, "Humph, little tramp. See the gap between us? Mom and Dad will always favor me." Qin Lang noticed Yunji's downcast expression and hurried over to comfort her. Yungu silently retreated to her room, her lonely back turned. Qin Lang watched her go, realizing, so this is how she's always felt. Watching our family shower all our affection on Qin Yujiao. Maybe she's known all along she doesn't belong here. When their mother called Qin Lang down for dinner, he snapped, "We're not all here. What's the point of eating now?" When Yoongu came downstairs, her father asked coldly, "Why didn't you come back with your sister?" She answered flatly, "Didn't want to. The Lu family matriarch's birthday is in a few days. Are you going?" he pressed. Her mother cut in, "Yo Jiao's always gone in the past. Why should she go now?" Qin Lang couldn't hold back. "Mom, ever since Yoongu came back, no one even knows she's the Qin family's real eldest daughter. Why not make it public?" Their mother shot back, "Why don't you think about your sister's feelings for once?" Qin Lang felt the words choking in his throat. He wanted so badly to tell her. The daughter you dote on most didn't even want to attend your funeral after you died. While the daughter you've ignored all your life gave you her bone marrow when you were sick, nearly costing her half her life. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore. "Yoongu is also my sister," he roared. Their father only said coldly, "She may be your sister, but Yo Jiao has always made us proud. And she's always causing trouble." Their mother even hugged Qin Yo Jiao and added, "Qing Zihuai will be there too. Pei Yunj, since he doesn't have feelings for you anyway, why not just step aside and let us match him with Yo Jiao?" Yoongu looked at the disgusting expressions on their faces and said coldly, "I'll only say this once. I'm not interested in your stupid banquet, not interested in you people, and definitely not interested in that Qing family heir." She turned to leave and her father barked, "Where are you going now?" "I'm uncomfortable at home. I'm going out to have some fun." "Is that not allowed?" she replied with a mocking smile. Her father shot to his feet, shouting, "I never expected you to be as sensible as Yo Jiao, but could you at least listen to reason?" Yoongu didn't even spare him a glance. Why bother with a father who'd never acted like one? He sighed in frustration. "A child you didn't raise yourself. Even if they're your own blood, they just don't feel like yours." Qin Lang slammed his chopsticks down and rose abruptly. Their mother frowned. "Where are you going?" "To find my sister," Qin Lang said coldly. For the first time, their mother sensed something odd. Something about these two siblings had changed lately, and it unsettled her. Meanwhile, at a bar, Huashidu was killing time, avoiding the nagging of the family's matriarch. One of his men tried to set him up with a girl, but he shut it down cold. Just then, Yoonji's celebrity second brother, Qin Yu, messaged him. "My little brother just saw my sister walk in. Can you find her?" He attached a photo. Huashidu glanced at it and froze. Wasn't this the very woman he'd been thinking about day and night? In a quiet corner of the bar, Yoongu was nursing a drink alone. Coincidentally, Lu Yuanxi and his friends spotted her too. He smirked to himself. "This woman plays harder than I do." Suddenly, two thugs swaggered over looking for trouble. Yoongu shot them a cold glare. "Get lost," they sneered. "We'll leave, if you light a cigarette for our young masterling." Yoongu picked up a cigarette, holding it upright. "Tell me, doesn't this look like incense burning on your graves?" One man's face darkened. "Don't be ungrateful. I'm doing you a favor letting you light it." Yoongu smirked. "I've been ungrateful for years. Old habit." Fuming, the man raised his hand. "I'll teach you some manners." Yoongu grabbed him by the collar, eyes glinting. "How about I be the one to teach you how to fight?" Yoongu kicked the man so hard he spat blood, then tied up her hair, ready to go all in. The suited pretty boy panicked, flashing his status. "I'm young masterling of the Ling family. You'd better not touch me." Then he shouted for his underlings to protect him. But Yoongu overpowered him with ease, leaving his men crying for their mothers. Suddenly, a group of imposing strangers appeared. "Young Master Ling," one said coldly, "our Master Du wants you back in the private room. Now." The terrified Ling instantly agreed, but still tried to plead. "This woman almost killed me. Can't you take her out for me?" The moment Yoongu heard Master Du, her eyes widened. "Huashidu." She quickly put on her jacket, ready to slip away. But before she could leave, someone grabbed her by the collar. "Crap. My image is doomed," she thought. Huashidu's voice was teasing. Well, it really is you." He flicked her forehead lightly. "Little girl, who told you you could come to a place like this?" Yoongu protested. "I'm an adult, okay?" Huashidu ruffled her hair, his tone indulgent. Be good. Come with me later. I've got something to take care of first. Huashidu's voice was icy as he ordered, You go to my private room with the bodyguards. The moment they stepped inside, young Master Ling dropped all his arrogance, falling to his knees and clutching Huashidu's leg. Master Du, I'm sorry. I swear I didn't know that girl was yours. If I had even with 10 lives I wouldn't have dared. Huashidu flicked ash onto his forehead, his tone sharp. Think you can touch my woman? You're still too green. Ling trembled, pleading, For my father's sake, just let me go like a fart in the wind. Huashidu smirked. You're lucky today. The little girl's still outside waiting for me. I want her to see my gentle side. Then without warning he pressed the lit cigarette into Ling's shoulder. Ling howled in pain, screaming at the top of his lungs. In the car, Huashidu noticed how exhausted she looked. He patted his long legs and said, Come on, little one. Sleep here. Yungu froze, cheeks flushing. That's not really appropriate. He smirked lazily. To sleep. Don't think you're taking advantage of me. Once she settled down, he looked at her quietly. At first she was just a pitiful little stray. But when I saw her being bullied, something in me wanted to protect her. She's so beautiful. Yet the Qin family treats her like she's nothing. What on earth are they thinking? When they arrived at his place, Huashidu immediately told the staff to prepare some hangover soup. Yungu, half awake, thought to herself, I haven't had a proper night's sleep in over a decade. Yet, resting on his lap, I felt more at peace than ever. Could he be my fated one? Soon, the Hua family's housekeeper brought the soup with utmost care. Yungu, used to being mistreated by servants at home, was deeply moved. The housekeeper, on the other hand, was already making mental notes. Master Du's never brought a girl home before. I have to tell the madam, he's finally opening up. At school the teacher was lecturing Lu Yuanxi. No uniform, no books. What kind of example are you? Teacher, how can those two represent all of us? You two sit down. Find someone else to work with today, the teacher ordered sharply. I'll just listen, Yungu said coolly. Then a chubby boy shuffled over nervously. Hey, you want to share my book? Yungu arched a brow, intrigued by his honesty. His name, she soon learned, was Chu Zhixing. From the back row, Ling Jiwei's eyes gleamed with malice. I warned the whole class yesterday not to be nice to Pei Yunj. And this fat idiot dares walk right into my line of fire? He's dead. After class, Lu Yuanxi warned her, don't get too close to Chu Zhixing. There's something off about him. I've seen him inject himself with some kind of drug. Yungu didn't even let him finish. She stood up and waved him off like he was a nuisance. Lu Yuanxi watched her walk away, thinking, am I a total idiot? Why do I even bother? This stupid woman never listens. As Yungu stepped into the hallway, she heard voices hurling insults at Chu Zhixing. Fatty! How dare you stick your nose where it doesn't belong? Her brows knitted. What do you think you're doing? She demanded. The school bully flashed his phone in her face. New girl, I'm telling you, stay out of this if you know what's good for you. To his shock, Yungu grabbed the phone and smashed it on the ground. The crack echoed in the hall. Too late, she said coldly. I'm in it now. Standing beside the school bully, Ling Jiwei smirked and egged him on. Money bro, want to record something exciting? Beaten and bruised, Chu Zhixing clung to the bully's pant leg, shouting hoarsely, Yunj, run. Don't worry about me. The bully roared, swinging a fist the size of a sandbag. Fat pig. You dare tell her to run? You're asking for death. Just as Chu Zhixing braced for the hit, Yungu stepped in, seizing the bully by the collar. You're throwing punches right under my nose? You looking to die? She slammed his head to the ground, voice sharp as a blade. Scum like you deserves a beating. Moments ago, Money Bro had been full of swagger. Now he was barely breathing. Ling Jiwei tried to play the threat card. Aren't you afraid you'll get expelled for fighting in Hengda Academy? Yunji's smirk was pure danger. Don't rush, you're next. Suddenly, Chu Zhixing's face went pale and his body swayed. Yungu immediately tried to take him to the infirmary, but the chubby boy shook his head. She raised a brow, voice sharp. You want me to kick you? Move it. If you're sick, you get treated. His chest warmed. Even his own mother avoided him when he had an episode, treating him like a monster. But Yoongu, she didn't flinch, she cared. "You've got a nice temper," he said shyly. Yoongu froze. "What?" At the infirmary, the doctor sighed. "Good thing you brought him. This kid gets bullied constantly, his mental health has suffered. He uses injections just to numb himself." Hearing that, Yoongu felt a pang of sympathy. With a lollipop in her mouth, she returned with snacks and said in her boss voice, "If anyone bothers you again, just tell them you're under my protection." Tears streaming down his face, Chu Zhixing swore, "I'll get stronger. I'll protect you." Yoongu doused him with cold water. "Can you fight?" "No," he admitted, deflated. Still, Yoonji's heart warmed. It had been a long time since anyone told her, "I'll protect you." The classroom was buzzing. The new girl, Pei Yunj, is in trouble. She beat up rich kid Chen Qingjun. His dad's at the principal's office right now. Someone turned to Qin Yojiao. "Isn't Pei Yunj that poor relative of yours?" Playing the innocent, Qin Yojiao shook her head. "No idea who she is." But the moment she stepped into the restroom, she called her mother. "Mom, Pei Yunja's caused trouble at school again. You'd better come." She wanted her mother to see for herself. She was the good, obedient daughter. In the principal's office, the man asked sternly, "Did you injure Qian Qingjun?" Inwardly, the principal scoffed. A poor student forced into the school after her family donated a building. He thought she was some rich young lady, but she was just a troublemaking Qin family tag-along. Yoongu didn't flinch. "Yes, I did." Qian's father glared. "And what do your parents do?" "I grew up in an orphanage," Yoongu said flatly. "No father. No mother." Qian's father smirked inwardly. "No background? Easy." Aloud he said, "Do you know who Qian Qingjun is? The heir to Qian Group. You hurt him, so you'll pay. 2 choices. Drop out of school or kneel and apologize to my son." Yoonji's gaze didn't waver. "Uncle, are you threatening me?" The principal broke into a cold sweat. Just then, her biological mother burst in, ready to slap her without a word. Yoonji's voice turned to ice. "Mrs. Qin, please. Mind yourself." The principal frowned. "Why would Mrs. Qin show up for a poor relative?" He asked, "Is this student yours?" She forced a polite smile. "A distant poor relative we took in recently." For the sake of her pride, she would never admit Yoongu was her daughter. And today she meant to kick her out. "If what I've heard is true," she added coldly, "I'll have her expelled immediately." Suddenly, Qin Lang strode in, voice sharp. "What proof do you have that Yunj was the bully?" "Why are you here?" their mother gasped. But Qin Lang ignored her, grabbing Yoonji's hand to take her away. Yoongu pulled free, her eyes cold. "I hit him. He deserved it, he might even deserve to die." Qian Jinya smirked at Mrs. Qin. "See? I'm not just standing up for my son," she admitted it herself. "So get out of this school." Before he could finish, the door burst open. A group of men in black stormed in. "Who's Qian Jinya? You're coming with us for questioning." The leader stopped right in front of him. "Remember the case your son was involved in last year? We didn't have evidence back then. But this time we do. Over 60 videos of him bullying classmates have gone viral online. Looks like your boy's been busy." Qian Jinya's face drained of color. "Wasn't my son's case closed last year?" The man sneered. "Closed? The victim's still in the hospital. You think money can buy back his life?" Qian Jinya's expression twisted as he rounded on Yunj. "Was this your doing?" One of the black-clad men thought, "Is this guy crazy? How could a student possibly hack the entire national network?" Then Chu Zhixing burst into the room. "Pei Yunj only fought to protect me. Qian Qingjuan's been bullying me non-stop. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it." He tore off his jacket, revealing bruises and scars all over his body. Once everything was over, Yunj turned to leave, only for her mother to block her path. "Not even a word before you go? Planning on never coming back?" Yunj's expression didn't change. "I'm not a Qin. Where exactly would I be going back to?" Back at school, rumors exploded. "Do we have a hacker in our school? Someone who can even breach the national network?" Chu Zhixing eyed her suspiciously. "Could she be that hacker?" At that moment, Yunj was already erasing the footage with her tech. Mission accomplished. No need to leave traces. Suddenly, she ducked to the side. Chu Zhixing blinked. What's wrong? My brother's here, she murmured. You two don't get along? He asked. We're too close, she smirked. I'm a total brocon. Just wait till you see his god-tier looks. When Huashidu appeared, Chu Zhixing took one look and slipped away, completely outclassed. Huashidu strolled over, his every word and glance laced with teasing charm. Then her father called. Your grandfather's back. Convince him to let Yujiao move back into the old house. Out loud, Yunj agreed. Inside she scoffed. Get me to plead for Qin Yujiao? Not a chance. He turned to Huashidu. It's my grandpa's birthday today. Can you take me home? At the Qin family estate, Mrs. Qin was coaching Qin Yujiao. It's your grandfather's birthday. Make sure you impress him today. She handed over an ornate gift box. I spent 2 million picking this out for you. When he sees your filial piety, he'll definitely acknowledge you as his granddaughter. Her smile hardened. That useless Pei Yunj only embarrasses me. I'll make sure your place in this family stays secure. Yujiao hugged her mother with teary eyes, but inside she sneered. So what if she's the biological one? Everything in the Qin family will be mine. The old man entered the hall, his eyes scanning around. Where's my sweet granddaughter, Yunj? Mrs. Qin quickly said. That brat's probably out playing again. Look how good Jiao Jiao is. Already here waiting for you. Qin Lang frowned. She's making Yunj look unfilial in front of Grandpa. I should say something. But before he could speak, the old man's face darkened. You don't even know what your own daughter is doing and you dare speak? What if something bad happened to her on the road? Qin Lang nearly laughed. Guess I worried for nothing. Grandpa still dotes on Yunj as much as ever. The moment Yunj stepped inside, Grandpa Qin asked with concern, Did anything happen on the way here? Yunj smiled. I'm fine, Grandpa. I just fell asleep during evening self-study. Her mother immediately pounced. Sleeping in class? Lazy and useless. If word gets out, won't people laugh at you? Grandpa Qin took Yunj's hand, his tone sharp. I'd like to see who dares laugh at my granddaughter. All my assets will go to Yunj, she can live carefree forever. His gaze hardened. And if your 3 brothers treat you badly, I'll break their legs myself. Qin Yujiao's eyes welled up. Maybe I shouldn't have come today. Mrs. Qin quickly pushed her forward. Dad, Jiao Jiao picked a special gift for your birthday. Grandpa didn't even glance at it. Yunj must be hungry. Let's eat first. Only after Mrs. Qin pressed again did he mutter, Jiao Jiao, very thoughtful. Mrs. Qin smirked, then turned to Yunj. And you, Yunj? Where's your gift for Grandpa? Don't tell me. You didn't prepare anything. For once, Yunj was momentarily at a loss for words. Just then, a deep, magnetic voice came from the doorway. Huashidu had arrived. I heard it's Grandpa Qin's birthday. I came to pay my respects. The old man blinked in surprise. You're the CEO of Hua Group? Inwardly, he wondered, a man of his stature isn't easy to befriend. Who in my family does he know? Mrs. Qin's eyes lit up instantly. May I ask, Mr. Hua, are you married? When she heard he wasn't, her smile widened. You and our Jiao Jiao would make a perfect match. Huashidu glanced briefly at Qin Yujiao. Her heart pounded wildly. Could it be? But in the next second he walked straight to Pei Yunj's side and smiled faintly. I prefer Yunj. The words were a direct slap in Mrs. Qin's face. Grandpa Qin raised a brow, curious. You two know each other? Yunj met Huashidu's gaze, lips curling with warmth. Of course we do. Qin Yujiao nearly ground her teeth to dust. That BT, she knows young Master Hua. Qin Yujiao quickly stepped forward. Mr. Hua, Huashidu merely gave a faint, oh, not even bothering to meet her eyes. He froze, baffled. Why is he so warm to Pei Yunj yet cold as ice to me? Mrs. Qin tried to speak up for her daughter, but Grandpa Qin's voice cut through the air. Enough. Yunj lowered her gaze, a pang in her chest. In her previous life, Grandpa had been the only one truly good to her, but he passed away a year later. This time she was determined to save him. That night, she secretly contacted her boss, world-class hacker Marcus, asking him to find the best doctor in the world. At the dinner table, Mrs. Chin still wouldn't drop the no-gift issue. Yunj, how could you show up without any token of appreciation? Yunj's tone was calm and blunt. I didn't buy one. Qin Yojiao feigned surprise. Grandpa dotes on you so much. How could you not get him a gift? Qin Lang shot back. She's not loaded like you. Her tiny allowance wouldn't even cover a gift. Grandpa Qin slammed the table. What? My granddaughter doesn't even have an allowance? What kind of parents are you? Mrs. Qin scrambled for an excuse. The housekeeper handles the money. It must be him embezzling. Yunj quickly tried to calm her grandfather. Don't be angry, Grandpa. I couldn't afford an expensive gift, but I still prepared something from the heart. She pulled out a hand-knitted scarf and held it out to him. The old man blinked in surprise. You really made this yourself? She bit her lip. Do you like it? Grandpa Qin clutched the scarf like a treasure, grinning from ear to ear. If it's from Yunj, I'll love it no matter what. Watching from the side, Qin Yojiao trembled with rage. Seriously? My 2 million yuan gift can't even beat a shabby little scarf? That's when Huishidu chuckled. Yunj's gift may be a little childish, but it's sincere. His eyes flicked toward Mrs. Qin. If Madam feels it's not enough, then I'll make up for it. With that, he pulled out a thick contract from his briefcase. Just then Yunj's phone rang. She stood up casually. Excuse me, I'll take this in the restroom. Grandpa Qin unfolded the contract, his eyes narrowing as he read, 3 years of top-tier cooperation between the Qin Corporation and Hua Group. The profits from this could rival our total revenue for several years. But then he frowned. If I accept this, wouldn't it be like selling my granddaughter? Without hesitation, he closed the folder and firmly declined Huishidu's offer. Mrs. Qin's eyes flashed with suspicion. No way, with his status, there's no chance he actually likes that brat. She asked smoothly, Mr. Hua, why go out of your way to help Yunj? Huishidu sipped his coffee, his tone lazy and unhurried. My fault. I came in a rush, forgot to bring the gift I'd prepared for Yunj from my place. The room fell into stunned silence. Qin Lang's mind spun. What? She's living with him. What the hell is this man thinking? Grandpa Qin's eyes widened. Yunj, she's been staying at your place? Does that mean she doesn't even want to come home anymore? What kind of parents are you? Huishidu folded his hands, his voice calm. Apologies, Mr. Qin. Yunj didn't want me to say anything. Then his gaze sharpened as he looked at Qin father and mother. Of course, if she were happy living here, she wouldn't be wandering out alone in the middle of the night. Mrs. Qin was painfully embarrassed, just about to suggest that Yunj move back home. But Grandpa Qin waved his hand decisively. I think staying with Mr. Hua suits her just fine. He studied the man in front of him, flawless in both family background and looks. If I'm gone a year from now, someone has to protect Yunj. Still, the contract was far too valuable and he couldn't bring himself to accept it. Huishidu smiled faintly. Consider it a gift from Yunj. But in return, I want one promise. His voice was deep and commanding. I want Yunj to be one of the 4 heirs of the Qin family. Mr. and Mrs. Qin froze. This would mean their beloved foster daughter, Qin Yojiao, would lose her place entirely. They were instantly restless, like ants on a hot pan. Mrs. Qin blurted, but Jiao Jiao has been with us for so many years. Why shouldn't she be an heir? Mr. Qin chimed in. She may not be our biological daughter, but she's publicly recognized as part of this family. Qin Yojiao clenched her teeth behind her pitiful act. Damn it. After all these years, I won't walk away with nothing. She put on her most fragile expression. Mr. Hua, did Yunj say something to you? Do you also think I stole everything from her? Huishidu didn't even glance at her. His tone was cold as ice. Did she ever agree to let you take it? Meanwhile, Yunj received a call from the hospital. They agreed to perform a brain surgery, but needed to review the patient's medical records first. Without hesitation, she said yes. When she returned from the restroom, she noticed the atmosphere around the table had shifted. Tense, awkward, almost hostile. Her gaze slid toward Huishidu, who sat there leisurely sipping his coffee. Did he Say something while I was gone? Then he leaned in, his breath brushing her ear. Your grandfather asked me to take you home. Her mind exploded with 3 giant question marks. Huh? What does that even mean? Hwashidu smirked. I told him you're a handful to raise, and then I may have asked for a little guardianship fee. She found herself staring at him, hopelessly love-struck. Why is he looking at me like that today? That gaze, it's dangerous. Across the table, Qin Yojiao's jealousy burned hot. Why does a man like Hwashidu protect her like this? And now, because of her, I'm being kicked off the Qin family heir list. After all these years of effort, I end up with nothing. No, I won't accept this. Qin Yojiao instantly put on her sweetest face. Grandpa, could you reconsider the heir decision? I just booked an appointment for you with Dr. Fong Gishing. I'm sure he can cure your illness. Grandpa Qin's brows lifted in surprise. Dr. Fong was a living legend in the medical world, nearly impossible to schedule. Mrs. Qin quickly jumped in, afraid the credit would slip away. Dad, Dr. Fong once attended Jiao Jiao's piano recital and adored her performance. He agreed to treat you only because of her. Inwardly, she gritted her teeth. I can't let Jiao Jiao be kicked out like this. She may not show it, but she's always cared about you. Just as Qin Yojiao was about to say more, a calm yet firm voice cut in. Grandpa, could you give me a copy of your medical records as well? Mr. Qin's expression darkened. He slammed the table. Pei Yunj, don't cause trouble. You're trying to compete with Jiao Jiao now. Yunj's gaze was steady, her tone sharp. You're saying this Dr. Fong can guarantee a full recovery for Grandpa? Then why not let other doctors try as well? Mr. Qin sneered, dripping with contempt. What doctors could you possibly know? Any so-called physician you bring would be a quack unworthy of treating him. Enough. Grandpa Qin's roar cut through the air like a whip. Mr. And Mrs. Qin flinched, instantly silenced. He ordered a servant to bring over his medical records. Handing them personally to Yunj. Gently ruffling her hair, he said, You're a child with a good heart, Yunj. Grandpa knows, and I trust you. Hugging the folder to her chest, Yunj promised, Don't worry, Grandpa. Even if there's only a 1% chance, I'll never give up on you. After dinner, with Yunj out of earshot, Grandpa's expression turned icy. What kind of parents are you? Is Yunj not your daughter? Why won't you even acknowledge her identity? Mrs. Qin bristled, insisting, Yunj may be your granddaughter, but Jiao Jiao is also a child you've watched grow up. The old man slammed the table. You neglect your own flesh and blood, yet treat a foster child like she's everything. Have you completely lost your minds? Qin Yojiao, overhearing, fled in tears, only to trip over a stone outside and crash to the ground. Daughter. Even the usually stoic Mr. Qin added, I've raised you for over a decade. How could I ever see you as an outsider? Neither of them spared a single glance at their real daughter standing just a few steps away. Seeing this, Hwashidu quietly stepped up beside Yunj. Distinguished man. Wasn't she the one who cared most about our parents' approval? Damn it, why is she so unfazed now? All my scheming wasted. That night, Yunj was once again haunted by the terrifying nightmares left behind by the body's original owner. Unable to sleep, she finally gathered the courage to knock on the door next to hers. When it opened, the sight made her cheeks burn instantly. Hwashidu stood there in a loose bathrobe, his perfectly sculpted physique partly revealed. She froze, eyes involuntarily tracing his figure, until he leaned down slightly, voice warm and velvety. Can't sleep? Snapping out of her daze, Yunj nodded softly. The next moment, he suddenly braced one hand against the wall beside her. A wall slam, his gaze teasing, his tone dripping with mischief. So, you couldn't sleep and decided to come seduce me? Just as she was at a loss for words, he stepped back with a slow, reluctant smile. How about we switch rooms? See if that helps. Like an obedient little bunny, she nodded right away. Before letting her go, Hwashidu reached out to pinch her soft cheek, his gaze flicking, perhaps not so innocently, toward her chest. Wearing this to knock on my door. Don't think I wouldn't take advantage. After the door closed, Yunj was left in the hallway, her heart still pounding wildly. This man, when he flirts, it's lethal. Lying on Huashidu's bed, surrounded by his cool, clean scent, she quickly drifted off to sleep, realizing the room, just like him, had a way of making her feel safe. In the dead of night, Pei Yunj was curled up in Huashidu's room, fast asleep. Suddenly, her phone blared, shattering the silence. Who the hell dared disturb her at this hour? Cursing the caller 1,000 times in her head, she finally picked up, voice icy. Marcus, you'd better have something urgent, or else. On the other end, Marcus could almost feel the murderous aura seeping through the line. He stammered, I wanted to ask if you could mentor a newcomer. He quickly added, he's from the same place as you, the heir of the Qing Corporation, Qing Zihuai. At the name, Yunja's lips curled into a cold smirk. Hey, that low-level scum? Not interested. Marcus stared blankly at his darkened phone screen, utterly confused. Why did she suddenly get so mad? His assistant leaned in, whispering helpfully, you do realize it's the middle of the night in her country, right? Marcus froze in horror. Why didn't you say that earlier? Damn it, now I've really pissed her off. The next morning, sunlight streamed into the music room as Qing Zihuai sat listening to Qin Youjiao play the piano. When the melody faded, he asked casually, so, how's your relationship with your third brother lately? I heard he even went to your school for Pei Yunj. Qin Youjiao's fingers froze for a split second, a flash of malice in her eyes. Her emergency contact is my third brother. Huh? Pei Yunj must really want everyone to know she's tied to the Qin family. Her lips curled into a slow, calculating smile. Don't worry. I'll make sure people know. No one can replace me in the Qin family. Even if she's the biological one, she'll never make it to the stage. It was clear she was already scheming her next move against Pei Yunj. He suddenly changed the topic. By the way, how's it going with that overseas research institute? Qing Zihuai's tone dimmed. They have an external researcher in our city right now, but she refuses to take me under her wing. Qin Youjiao's eyes widened. With your talent, there's actually someone who'd turn you down? Qing Zihuai gave a cold, humorless laugh. I'm not giving up. If only he knew the researcher that institute treasured like gold was none other than the Pei Yunj he looked down on most. In the soft glow of the bookstore's computer section, Qing Zihuai was casually flipping through a book when his gaze suddenly caught a familiar figure, Pei Yunj. Narrowing his eyes, his lips curled into that usual arrogant smirk. Pei Yunj, I thought you finally learned to behave. Didn't expect you to follow me here. Pei Yunj lifted her gaze briefly, her expression cool, not even bothering to grant him a second glance. This scumbag must have taken the wrong meds. She hugged the book in her arms and turned to leave. But Qing Zihuai stepped in front of her, blocking the way. Playing hard to get. Creating a coincidental meeting? Pei Yunj, you've never liked coming to bookstores. He pointed to the book in her hands with a sneer. Even I can't understand a book like that. You're just trying to please me, aren't you? Pei Yunj arched a brow at his overconfident face, her thoughts dripping with sarcasm. Leaving your brain at home is one thing, but why flaunt your lack of IQ in public? Her lips curled into a slow, lazy smile. The only thing I know is that the man waiting outside, I happen to like him. Very much. With that, she turned on her heel, striding away. Qing Zihuai froze, thinking she must have said it just to provoke him. But she suddenly glanced back, her eyes curved in a mocking smile. Do yourself a favor. Take a good look in the mirror. You think you're worth my schemes. Her words lit a fire in him. Face dark with anger, he strode after her, a cold smirk tugging at his lips. Fine. Let's see what kind of man makes you so proud. Stepping out of the bookstore into the empty street, he opened his mouth, ready to mock her. But before he could speak, a sleek, understated luxury car pulled up beside Pei Yunj. The door swung open and a man stepped out, tall, breathtakingly handsome, exuding the effortless dominance of a born ruler. The sharp edge in his gaze softened the moment it landed on her, melting into unguarded tenderness. He reached out, ruffling the crown of her head with a gesture that was both natural and deeply intimate. Qing Zihuai stood frozen as if struck by lightning. The noble, commanding presence this man radiated was something he could never hope to rival. Impossible. How could Pei Yunj know someone like him?